Wow, stories.
I, 33 male, found out my wife, 34 female, of 11 years, was having an affair. I found out a week before Christmas 2023. I found out in probably the second worst way, first being catching them having intimacy. I found out purely by accident. We had recently upgraded our phones because she broke hers beyond being usable. And when we set up the new ones, there were photos and videos she wanted from my phone that she wanted transferred over to her new one. So I signed into her Gmail account to sync with the cloud. I keep my old phone to play games and stream as it is still a good phone. Phone upgrades happened in late October or early November. Anyway, fast forward to December, just before Christmas, and the Google Photos app pings. Check out your memories from 2023 inches or something close to that on the old gaming phone. I tap it expecting photos of our 2 kids, family outings, things of that sort. What I was not expecting was to find nudes of my wife. I realized that she did not turn her cloud sync off on her new phone, and the picture synced with my old phone. My heart immediately sank. I knew they weren't meant for me. In the 11 years we had been married, I have often said that I would love if she were to take some sexy pictures for me, but she never showed any interest. I never pushed the issue. It was just something I thought would be nice. The date stamps on the pics showed the earliest ones were from about a week prior, with the most recent a close-up of her female genitalia, taken just the day before while I was in the next room, working weekend overtime. I spiraled very quickly after that, with every possible scenario running through my head. I almost broke right then and there. I was able to keep it together long enough to get my head straight. I remember that between her breaking her phone and me having the money to pay for the upgrades, she had been using a very old phone that we had lying around. It couldn't do much but let her log into her Facebook and make calls. I pulled that old phone out and powered it back up. Her Facebook was still logged in. I went through her messenger and found the man she was cheating on me with. It was someone from her past that she had dated. She was smart enough to not have him as a friend on Facebook, so I have no idea how long he had been back in her life. It looked like they deleted their messages regularly, as it only showed a few they had traded that day, one of which was a video of my wife in which she was picking the names of the children she wanted to have with him. I have never felt such pain before. I was devastated. I almost ended it at that very moment. What need is there for me to still be around? I had already been replaced. I also considered going scorched earth and taking screenshots of their chats with her, saying he was sent to her by heaven, and posting them on her Facebook and sending them to everyone on her friends list. But the only thing that stopped me was the fact that I still loved her. I could not bring myself to do something that would hurt her. I confronted her that same night. I asked her to tell me why, with who, how long, and had the affair been physical. She barely gave me any straight answers. She said it had been going on for a while, and they had had intimacy before. She would not tell me who, but I already knew that from the Facebook messages. Her reason for why was, I didn't know if you loved me as much as I love you. She said she did not feel the love for me because I hadn't been getting her gifts for Valentine's Day or Mother's Day, and that I would not get upset at the things that would make her upset. Instead, I would usually try to get her to look at issues logically instead of emotionally. As far as the gift thing goes, it's true that for several years, I had not gotten her anything on the specific holidays. But that was usually because we had already spent our recreational money, usually on something that she would want, or something for the kids, or a thing she wanted to do. I would also tell her that if we do this thing or buy this stuff now, we would not have any more spending money. She would always say, "That's fine." She never gave me any indication that she was unhappy with me or our life together. The entire time we have been married, I thought I was doing everything right. I always made sure we had everything we needed. I always put her wants ahead of mine. I would go places and do things that I didn't really have an interest in because she wanted to. I never complained and never dismissed her hobbies or interests. I always made sure we did things and went out to break the routine of me at work and her doing the house chores. I gave everything to our marriage, to being what I thought was a good husband and father. We talked the night I confronted her. She said she was sorry she hurt me. I honestly can't remember if she actually said she was sorry/regretted the affair. That night is a bit of a blur when I try to remember all the details. She said that she never stopped loving me. She says she truly wants to be with me. I still love her, but that is what makes it so painful. I want to continue with our marriage, but now I am overtaken with insecurities and doubts. I was already doing what I honestly thought was my best. There has been the constant thought now in the back of my mind that if it wasn't good enough before, how can it be enough now? Should I even try? I feel like my life has lost its purpose. I feel dead and empty inside. I have just been going through the motions. I am horribly depressed. I can't envision my future anymore. Do I stay in this marriage knowing it will never be what it once was, or rather what I thought it was? Or do I call it quits and take my chances on my own? Edit formatted it a bit. Sorry about the giant wall of text. I had been writing this through my notes app for a few days, and I just copy-pasted for the post and hadn't taken the time to fix. Answer to a big question that I really can't believe I forgot, concerning the AP. She did message him the night I confronted her to tell him it's over and to never contact her again. She also blocked him. As far as I know, she does not have any other social media besides Facebook. She no longer guards her phone when I'm around and can easily see when she is messaging anyone. It was never like she would hide it from me or get angry if I touched it or anything like that, so that was never a red flag. I have also gone through her phone a few times and have not found any indications of it still ongoing or of any other APs. She does seem to be putting the effort into working through this. But whether or not she genuinely feels remorse or regrets what she did, I cannot say, simply because I'm not sure what that is supposed to look like. I want to say thank you to everyone for the well wishes and concern for my well-being. I honestly didn't expect anyone to actually read this or give advice. I have not made a concrete decision. I am still focusing on simply surviving this ordeal. Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. She is sorry she got caught. Not sorry she was allowing someone else to engage in intimacy activity with her. She would still be continuing this affair and considers you a welcome mat. She will continue to do it. She doesn't care about you or your children. Let her go with him. The grass is always greener near the septic tank. Let her engage in promiscuous behavior and find out. You are the backup plan because you are always there. Snatch the rug from under her. Nothing you do should be for her. Start taking care of yourself. If you look back in your relationship, you will see that you are the only one who has made an effort. You are just her ATM. Comment 2. If she had come to you, confessed, felt guilty, and wanted to work things out, you would be justified in wanting to reconcile. But in this case, there were only two possibilities in front of you if you had not caught her. The cheating would have escalated, or she would leave you and your marriage for the other person. She has already made the choice for you. You just need to understand your actual situation and divorce as soon as possible. Now, for the update. Thanks for sticking around to hear more of this mess. So, after the whole affair thing blew up, things got even crazier. My wife's sister, who's always been a bit of a tense card, showed up out of nowhere. She's the type to stir the pot, and boy, did she. Turns out, she knew about the affair all along. She dropped this bomb on us during a family dinner, right in front of our kids. My wife went pale, and I could barely keep my food down. The sister went on to say that she thought it was for the best, that my wife find happiness, because apparently I was too dull. That stung. I mean, I've always been more of a steady, keep things running smoothly kind of guy. But dull? That hurt. And the kids, they were confused and upset, asking questions we weren't ready to answer. But here's the kicker. The sister didn't just come to drop truth bombs, she came with an agenda. She wanted money. Said she had some debts and figured we owed her for keeping the secret. Can you believe that? Blackmailing her own sister. My wife, to her credit, refused. She said we had enough problems and her sister needed to leave. That's when things got physical. A full-blown fight broke out. Dishes flying, kids crying. It was a nightmare. I had to physically separate them and get the sister out of the house. The aftermath was just as bad. The kids were shaken, my wife was a mess, and I was just trying to keep it all together. But wait, it gets worse. The next day, I got a call from the bank. There were some irregularities with our accounts. Turns out, my wife had been funneling money to a separate account for months. When I confronted her, she broke down and admitted that she was saving up for a new life with her lover. That was a punch to the gut. All this time, I thought we were rebuilding, and she was planning to leave. I felt like a fool, a complete and utter fool. I had been trying to patch things up, going to counseling, trying to be a better husband. And for what? So she could leave me high and dry? I was angry, more angry than I've ever been. But I kept it together for the kids. They don't deserve any of this. So I did the only thing I could think of. I took action. I moved half of the remaining money to a new account, just in case she tried to clean us out. I also started looking for a lawyer. If this was how it was going to be, I needed to protect myself and the kids. The whole situation is a mess. I'm trying to navigate through this storm, but it's hard. I'm angry, hurt, and I feel betrayed all over again. And the worst part? I still have this nagging feeling that I'm missing something, like there's another shoe about to drop. But for now, I'm just trying to keep my head above water.